Hey everyone, welcome back to Empire Build Academy. I'm Fabian, and today I am starting a new game, Beginner's Guide, for Game of Thrones Conquest. I think there's a crossover there with House of Dragon as well. So I'm currently on the game scene at the moment on my mobile phone, and this is an old account that I never bothered with. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new account from here. So I'm going to do that by clicking on the settings button at the top, and then I'm going to go into accounts, and then I'm going to go into the start new option down there. And it's giving me a warning to say if you haven't binded your account, then of course you will lose all your data if you haven't done that. So if you've made purchases and things like that, it's important to make sure that you've binded your account. So let's click OK on that. It's telling me that the account status is unbound. That is perfectly fine, and at least it gave me a couple of warnings to make sure I was protected. So this is Game of Thrones Conquest Robert's Rebellion. Okay, so this has been a long time since I played this, and I'll be honest with you as well, I didn't actually play fully to its max. So when I say I didn't play it fully, I mean I literally did a few things and that was it. So it's saying here my new account has been created and I've been placed on Kingdom 1688. And that is fine. The many-faced challenge, and we will click claim on that. I'm not quite sure what the item is there. Upgrade your keep, claim. I'm hoping this is a brand new account. It looks like it's a brand new account by what I'm seeing on the actual game itself. We've taken this keep in my name, Daenerys Stormborn, here to the Iron Throne. Tyrion, you are my hand. What do you know of this place? Now, this is obviously where it gives you a nice little story mode for the different things as you progress through the game. I'm not going to be mentioning too much of that on this video. I'm sure you can read that as and when you're playing. What I want to do is just get a feel for the game on the beginner's guide, open up a few things and see where we're going. So I'm going to skip through a lot of this. Okay, this is my profile where other lords and ladies may view, and I think one of the first things we're going to be doing is changing our avatar, and I will just change it to anything at all, to be honest. Okay, enter new name. Now, I will say this is one of the important things. A lot of games give you a generic name, and when it comes to joining an alliance, it's not something that is welcomed by joining certain alliances because they just like to be able to identify you rather than having the generic name that we all have. So I'm going to put in there Fabian Atiba, which is like my new name that I've been putting into these games since I've been starting this channel. And if you are new to the channel, it'd be awesome if you could hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel. I'm doing okay with the community I'm building, and if you're not aware, I also have a website, empirebuildacademy.com. You can Google Empire Build Academy, I'll be appearing straight away at the top, where I'm placing all my guides for all the different games in there as well. Okay, so let's do that. Is it going to allow me? Sometimes they don't like the @ sign. Invalid character. I wonder if that is the @ sign. Let's have a look. It might even be the space. Right, so again, I'm going to click through this. This is obviously where we're getting our dragon for the first time. I'm not quite sure on the graphic side of things. I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it's spectacular, but it's certainly not one of the worst I've seen. I've definitely seen a lot worse. And one of the games actually that's really popular, I won't mention it in here, is actually really poor, and it's a really famous popular game. Try and guess in the comments which one I'm going on about. It's one that's been around for a very long time, and it was also one that I played from the very beginning, which sort of gave me a welcoming to the Empire Build, the mobile war strategy style game, and how they all play. Okay, so we've done that. This is where literally what you will be doing at the start is almost following a guide that the games send you on. So you can see down here at the bottom, I don't know if it can highlight things, I can't, unfortunately not, but it's literally a case of clicking buttons and following the guide. So it says build a stable. Let's go and do that now. You can see that it's also free to construct this, which a lot of these games do go with. They like to try and draw you in and get you excited by the different things, and this one is no different in regards to that. Okay, let's continue. So this is the quest that I was talking about and the guides that you follow. So you can see that build a stable is now complete. Join an alliance is another one that we've got to do. We've got to bind our account. Okay, so it's just telling me all those different things there as well. And yeah, upgrade your level to keep 2, build a training yard, etc, etc. So what I will do, the red box at the top is normally the main one, the one we must focus on to progress through the chapters or the quests. So builder stable is now done, and once I've done that, you can now see that there's a new one there. Build a training yard. We'll collect that little box as well. So let's go and build the training yard as well, and we can build that for free, and we can go back to our lovely little box of what we need to do. You also can see, I'm assuming this is daily rewards for doing certain tasks. So you can see total points, construction complete, laying the foundation part 1, and I can see that it's saying it's got 1 day and 10 hours available. Build, enhance or upgrade any building to earn points, part of the kingdom launch event. So basically what they're saying is the more buildings I construct, the more buildings that I can complete, the more I'm going to earn these additional rewards. And I just clicked on one there, which was the tier 14, and you can see that they also come with additional rewards as well. Okay, let's come off that. Let's continue building. Upgrade a level keep. Build a dragon pit is the next thing it's asking me to do. I think from a layout perspective, it's not too bad. The different things are all scattered around quite nicely. There's some games that are a little bit overkill, I think, with the way things are and all the different things you've got to see. Can be okay, it can be fun, as long as it's not too much. And I just find games today like this and other ones that I'm doing on the channel, it's almost like they're competing with each other now to do the same events across all the games, and they're almost copying each other. And then what happens is you're starting to have 10, 15, 20 different events going on, and it sort of becomes a little bit confusing as to what you're doing and where you're going. So I would imagine this game will probably do the same thing. This is the Might of Dragons, and this is feed and level up your dragon to earn points. Part of the Conquest begins. So let's continue doing that. What I like to do on these things as well. So there is a banner unlocked. Do you want to build your house banner right now? Yes, let's do that. And I can see there, just about seeing it at the top. So this is where you can, okay, so it's like a little banner maker, so to speak, if you wanted to do one. I'm not too fussed about what this looks like. It's a nice little feature, I guess, but not one that I'm too bothered about. So let's go with, what shall we go with? That one looks pretty cool. That looks fierce, I guess. Let's click save on that. Can you change colours as well? Oh, yes, you can. That's nice. Can we change the... Yes, we can change the dragon colour as well. Exciting, maybe. I'm going to go... That almost looks like Empire Build Academy. That is a terrible banner, by the way. That is terrible. And I'm not saying that from the makers of the game. I'm saying from what I've chose. But you know what? I just want to skip through and... Oh, there you go. Look at that. Didn't even know that. You got a little refresh button up in the top right corner, and it throws some at you, which are much better than what I was actually doing myself. So I'm just going to keep clicking until I see something where I go, that's kind of what I was trying to create. That was a much better example. I'm going to go with, what are we going with? I'll go with that. There you go. Sorted. Okay. Now we've unfurled our banner for all to see, it would be wise to bolster our ranks by training new troops. And if you played these kind of games, you will notice that they all follow the same route. It's building your early buildings, your resource points, and also things like your barracks for your training troops and stuff like that. Call to arms, so you can see there's a lot of different events going on in terms of beginner's guide, in terms of what you are doing. So I'm going to click through this story mode. I really am, because I'm already at 10 minutes and I don't feel like anything has been built whatsoever. So let's continue. Look like it's taking me to the map that we normally call this, and you've got a map finder as well, which is useful, and you can find all the different monsters. So you can see there it says creature found, and we can go to that straight away. And then when we click on that, it should give us the option to go and kill this. And normally at the beginning, these are pretty straightforward in being able to kill. And then if we click on that bottom left icon, we'll click on that, and then that takes us back to where we were doing all the buildings. Bandits beware, defeat event monsters to earn points. So there's definitely a lot of different things going on, and I'm assuming you're going to get some decent rewards for doing all these different things. So it doesn't matter if you're doing building, it doesn't matter if you're leveling your dragon, it doesn't matter if you are fighting out in the world or the map, killing monsters. There's going to be some decent rewards. And let's just have a look around and see what we think of this. This is where all our resource points are going to be. We're going to have some of our main buildings up here. We've got our dragon. A very familiar layout for how this is all doing and how all this is working. So if you're not aware of how I do these things, I have a little pattern that I follow, which is I start off with the beginner's guide, then I go to construction, then I go to research. Once we've done research, we go to troops. From troops, we go to heroes, and then from heroes, we go to defense, defense to attack, attack to events, and then the last one would be frequently asked questions. And the idea is that once I've gone through all of those 9 steps, those 9 different videos, we'll have a good understanding of how to play these games better than without the knowledge, if that makes sense. And that's what I'll be doing. So there'll be 2 beginners videos. And before anyone says, yes, I do know 2 beginners videos and all the other ones I mentioned is 10. But it's the steps that I'm talking about. There's 9 different steps. And beginners guide part 1 and part 2 is first. I will go into a little bit more detail in part 2 on what has been unlocked and things like that. And then we start getting into the good stuff. The construction is where everything starts to take place. Everything starts to look like what our future account will be. And then we start getting into the good stuff in terms of fighting and battling and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you will stick around with me while I do those videos. I'll always try to keep them under 30 minutes for each step. And the reason for that is so that I don't overload too much and talk a bit waffly. I don't want to waffle on these videos. So, which I'm probably doing right now. So let's get back to what I'm doing. So the next thing that we need to do is, again, let's continue to follow the quest way. And we've collected another award. Build the tavern is next. Let's do that. Incidentally, I want to check something as well. If I click on that tavern, there's I guess the games try to do this, don't they? They try to throw these different rewards at you, probably to make you think that you are achieving and gaining, when in reality we know that it isn't. And that's exactly what I wanted to look at there. So on the tavern, I've clicked on the tavern. It's got a little eye icon next to that, which is information, and it will tell you a brief overview of what that building is. So you can see here, visit the tavern daily to earn rewards. Notice top left corner under the back arrow, there is also an icon as well. So click on that. Again, wondered if there's going to be any more information. There isn't. Let's go to a different building. Let's go to the storehouse. Clicking on information on that. And again, you can see the storehouse, heavily guarded, protects your resources from enemy invaders. From time to time, shipments of advanced resources are sent to your storehouse that improve with the level of building. So I just wanted to show that. That's what a lot of the games do to get an understanding of each of the different buildings. So you can see here, this is the smithy. You can see as well that we require keep level 5 to be able to build this. So that's another important thing to be taken into consideration. We've got the Meister's Tower, and again, the required keep level for this is level 4. So let's go back to the quest. Let's continue building that. Train at least 1 squire. Let's do that now. This is in the stable. Your cavalries, your horses, mounted. It has lots of different names across the different games. So that one is now done. So if we actually click on the icon for Lannister there, we can jump into this and we can do some of the other events while we're waiting. So let's have a look at this. Chaos isn't a pit, chaos is a ladder. Choose a liege to follow and learn the ways of the great game. So they're telling you all the different reasons why it'd be good to join these. There are lots of different options. Do I know which one is the best? No. So what I'd always like to do on this game, and I'm going to do that on this one as well, is try to find rankings. Now, it can be in many different places. I'm going to try and click on that flag one over there. That's marches. Okay, so all the ones on the right hand side that are all going down, they are all to be doing with our account. Let's click on settings. Tyrion Lannister? I'm not sure. I have watched the program. It's just that I always thought they called him Tyron, but when you look at that, that looks like Tyrion. I don't know. Oh, that's good, isn't it? You've got gold spend warnings and things like that in there. But not what I'm looking for, because I'm still looking for rankings. Sometimes you find that in your avatar icon on the left hand side. So let's click on that. Let's see what we've got in here. We've got profile, stats, house information. Nothing, it looks like, in there. I've probably got some people from the game that have played this many times before shouting it out. There it is. There it is. You're looking in the wrong place. But don't worry. I cut all these things out in the videos. Okay, so I was doing a little look around on the game in terms of rankings and things like that, and I haven't found it yet, but I will continue searching. If someone does know, then please do let me know in the comments, because I think I've clicked on everything and I didn't see any rankings. Anyway, one thing I did notice is when I went into, not that, I went into this, and I noticed that it says no allegiance. So go into this, and then you've got a how it works button at the top, which I clicked on, and then it gives you a breakdown of when you pledge your allegiance to another player, they become your liege. And a liege can have multiple bannermen. Your liege can also have a liege as well, and this continues growing. Now, I don't know if this is how they do their alliancing. It's a little bit different to what I'm normally used to. It can also be slightly confusing, but only confusing in the aspect of I've never done it before and never seen anything like this. So it may take a little bit of getting used to. So I'm not going to join anyone yet. You can see that I've got options here, and I can refresh the list to do that as well. And the maximum I can see anyone there. So if we clicked on Chronix Sunsteel, you can see seats of power. He's got his allegiance is Doom. There are 5 members that are in this, and I can join that if I wanted to. And again, I'll continue going through that. So you can see there's a couple there for Doom. So Doom look like they are a decent outfit. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, though, while I'm working them things out, and I'll actually have a look once I come off this guide today, is I'll have a look for some other information about the game, just get myself a little bit freshened up. But what I will do is continue with the building which we've got, so we can build the port next, which we will do, and that is free. And then we can continue with that, so we can collect that. We can now upgrade a sawmill to level 2, which again is nice and easy, and we can continue going through this. And basically this is what we're sort of doing at the beginning, is just upgrading and unlocking all the different buildings. And when I go into Beginner's Guide Part 2, not only will I be armed with the information that I was talking about and some other things as well, but also a lot of these buildings will all be built so that when I get to the construction video and we start breaking down every individual building and its purpose, we start to get a really good understanding of what is going on. So let's go back to Tyrant again. Let's keep collecting all these different things. Upgrade to a level 2 farm. Some of these I will skip in the video depending on time. We're on 22 minutes. Again, I'm just going to keep collecting. But you kind of get the idea of what we're doing at the beginning, and that's what these videos, the first beginner's video, is all about, is just getting a feel for the game, how it works, what it does, where you place things. And building a war camp is the next thing that we had to do. And there it is. We scroll across and we can build that free. That is now done. Upgrade a level 2 war camp. Let's do that. Upgrade, free, done. And again, now I'm just clicking on the treasure box that looks like is next to it. Upgrade to level 2 stable. And then that's just taking me straight away to the next thing. And that's how you can start clicking through these things and start moving a little bit quicker, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. I noticed there were some things like chat and things like that are all locked until you get to level 5. So a lot of finger clicking exercise to get to these things, and that's exactly what I'll be doing. As I mentioned in video 2, there should be some progress. What I will do off screen is upgrade some of these things so the buildings become unlocked and you get to see a lot more progress, which is what will have happened. It's sending me to here. Let's collect. I didn't actually see exactly what it was. There are many seats of power around Westeros, but only one that has the eyes of Daenerys Targaryen. Let's look to King's Landing. So this is King's Landing. We've got another reward to claim and another one as well. Upgrade to level 2 training yard, we can do that, that's done. 3 keep is done. Level 3 sawmill, we can do that as well. And click on free on there, so that is also done. And I think the idea is now is to just literally build this up as much as possible. I won't go and do that on this particular video, but what I will do now is wrap this video up, because it does look like a finger clicking exercise really, which is not something we need to be seeing on this video. But the idea will be, as you can see, the rookery will be unlocked at level 6. That's keep level 6. This is your keep over here. And you can see the keep level at the moment is level 4. If I clicked on upgrade there, you can also see that it's telling me I need 2 requirements to be able to do that. The level 3 wall and the level 3 range. So if I just go and do that straight away now, click on that, then you can see for the wall, I need a level 3 storehouse. So that is an additional way that you can do this. And again, I'll do it again. I'll go to the keep, the wall, the upgrade. And then it's telling me I need a level 3 storehouse, which we can do. That is now done. We can go back to the wall because that was the requirement. Click on upgrade for that. Looks like we need some speed ups to be able to complete that. And that will be the idea. What I will be doing off screen is exactly that, and collecting all the different rewards that come along with that. And then when I jump into Beginner's Guide Part 2, I'll talk a little bit about the buildings that have been unlocked, but I'll also, this is what Beginner's Guide Part 2 is for me, start talking about all the different icons that are scattered around your screen. So starting from the top, from our avatar, working across all the way down, so that we get a good understanding of what all the different icons are. And then by the time we go into construction video, we should really have a good understanding of what things are doing, and then we can really get into the game. So that is where I'm going to leave this particular video. Like I say, continue building. If you are following along, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to continue building, probably try to get myself to probably keep level 6, keep level 7. I may go a little higher. It depends on what the progress looks like, or if there's any important information I think would be useful for a beginner's guide. And I will see you in that beginner's guide part 2. Please do help support the channel and me by subscribing and liking this video, and I will see you in Beginner's Guide Part 2 very soon. Thanks for watching.